Understanding your audience and the content that you are illustrating for is very important. Been done for a sensitive piece, a political piece, for kids' book.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Notes of Design. To help support our mission spread knowledge, we have a very special guest on today's episode. Let's welcome Maitreyee Kalaskar. She's an independent designer and an illustrator. She worked with companies like Crave Beauty and Bazana. She also got featured in Chris Dew's Young Guns Season 2, where she got mentored by Chris along with other global creatives around the world. In this episode, Maitreyee has shared her journey into design and illustrations. She also shared some techniques on how to pick up the right colors or the theme for your illustration. Along with that, we also had a conversation on how storytelling can be done by means of using an illustration. So hope you guys enjoy this episode and stay tuned and happy designing everyone. Hi Maitreyee, welcome to Nodes of Design. It's a pleasure hosting you today on our show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So Maitreyee, how's your day going?
The day's been going good. There's a lot of rainfalls. I think we have already come into the monsoon season. Sadly, the summer didn't last very long, huh?
If you could give a brief about yourself to our audience out there.
Yeah, sure. So, hi guys, I am Maitreyee. I am an independent designer and an illustrator. I also work on brand identity designs, brand strategy, and also illustrations for various companies and agencies. Also, from time to time, I take illustration workshops. I also take talks on design, where I usually cover the basics of this creative field.
Thank you so much, Maitreyee. So, what was your journey into design and how did you get started up with all the illustrations that you are doing right now?
Oh, well, I started getting very curious in the field of art, I guess, when I was in kindergarten. I guess, I'm not sure. That at least what my parents tell me. We have a lot of artists in our family in general. So my parents supported me throughout this journey. And I know it's very rare to see parents support their children's creative side. And I'm so thankful and grateful for it. I graduated with my bachelor's in fine arts degree, BFA degree in 2016. And I straight on went towards a job in an agency where I actually learned a lot. And in a short amount of time, actually, I always felt like I needed to explore more and try more things out. So I started my journey as an independent designer, the thing that I'm now, 2 years ago. Specialty in college was actually illustration. I actually never gave my full attention towards it. When I had the chance to finding out my own niche and finding out my own creativity and my own creative style, I started exploring illustration style of mine. I think in 2019, I had an amazing opportunity to participate on the Futures channel with the amazing Chris Doe. I think we all know him for the YouTube channel. And in that series, actually, Chris encouraged me to push my illustration side. And so I did. Now my illustration is full of illustration only. And I'm really happy to see my own journey there. It's like a mini journal that I keep for my own self. Yeah, I think illustration has been something of a very new venture for me. And I'm happy that I'm exploring into it.
Thank you so much, Maitreyee. You've been into the show with Chris Du and he had given you some insights over your creative journey, right? So would you mind sharing those tips to our young creative audience?
Sure. I think the first thing that I learned there was how to take criticism openly. I mean, we all love to get criticism from our mentors or the people who we share our art with, but I think we tend to get hurt when someone suggests something about our work. And I think that's where we stop our growth. So I think keeping an open mind when it comes to constructive criticism is an amazing way to improve very quickly. And Chris was an amazing mentor. He told us what was right and what was wrong, and his philosophy of taking criticism without getting your ego in the way is a really amazing tip for anyone who wants to grow very quickly in their own field. So yeah, I think my one and only and the most important tip would be to take constructive criticism without getting your ego hurted. And I think you'll go a long way.
Thank you so much, Maitreyee. So let's start our journey into illustrations now.
Sure.
So what are your tricks on choosing the right colors or the theme for your illustration?
Oh, right. Yeah, because a lot of people ask me that. But the thing is Like, I'm obsessed about colors. I'm really obsessed about color palettes and colors in general. I love creating color palettes and just to see how people react to them. I believe that colors and color palettes can completely transform an illustration or any creative piece that you are presenting. As we see, even in logos, there are certain colors used for certain industries. It is all about color psychology, and there are so many amazing resources online, offline, where you can read about color theory in general. I think it is the only way to improve your tactics about creating a color palette, which will go great with your color pieces. So my trick about starting with colors into your creative pieces would be to start with a black and white illustration first. Because if you start with colored illustrations already, your mind can block other color palette ideas. Because I've experienced that firsthand. Color palettes that I use often are blue and oranges. So if I start my illustrations with that color palette already in the illustration, I sometimes tend to lose other senses and I just concentrate on the blues and oranges. So I prefer that I start with a black and white illustration. If you're doing a logo design, start with a black and white logo. It will help you actually build a lot of colors and color palettes as you go along the way. Black and white illustrations can help you actually imagine a lot of probabilities of colors that you can use in it. So if you are actually stuck with color combinations and you cannot get out of it, I'd suggest that you start playing with complementary color schemes. I think complementary colors is the one type of color palettes that I use the most because I feel that they are the most easiest way to work with and it's like one of the easiest colors that you can use in your illustrations, even for the beginners. I suggest that you do that. Even also for illustrations or in general design, I prefer, if you don't know where to start, I'd suggest online resources like colorhunt.co or colors.co. They're amazing to actually help you start building your own color palette. But also there's a tool called Adobe's Color Theme. It is already installed in your Illustrator software and it has already amazing inbuilt color palettes that you can use.
Thank you so much, Maitreyee. So illustration is all about a storytelling, conveys a story through illustration, right? So what are your storytelling techniques?
Storytelling is actually all dependent on who you are telling the story for and why. So understanding your audience and the content that you are actually illustrating for is very important. Is illustration been done for a sensitive piece, a political piece, for kids' book? Storytelling is all dependent on who you're doing it for and why. So understanding your audience and the content you're doing it for is very important. So the story can be conveyed using the techniques of colors and expressions. It all depends on what piece you're doing it for. So if you're doing it for a political content or political article, it can be something of a different piece. But if you're doing it for a kid's book, I think it would be something of a very different piece and very different colors would be used in it. The style that you're using as an illustrator combined with the color palette you're choosing for that piece will bring everything together. It also changes the audience's psychology about getting that piece in. So surround yourself with amazing books and articles and other materials. It will help you with your storytelling skills in the future, and you can build off from that.
Thank you so much, Maitreyee. So what are your tips for the beginners, start their journey into illustrations or sketches or something?
So my technique actually would be to just start, I guess, because as designers or as beginner designers, we sometimes tend to think a lot about what things I need than to what things I'd like to do. Because a lot of beginner designers, including me or including you, we have all been through the psychology of, oh, I need this website, my own website for getting my work out, or I need to start a blog and stuff. But we sometimes forget to actually do the work that will get us clients in the future. So I just suggest to start with your own work first and invest your time and skills and money into developing your own work. If you are doing product design, logo designs, motion, show your work. If you haven't actually worked with any clients yet, if you're just starting out, I would suggest doing concept work. There are a lot of design briefs that you can get online and you can build your concept portfolio off of it and start showing off your work online. People tend to get really shy to show their work off on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Behance. And if you have all these resources, I don't think you need your own website. Sometimes even I don't have my own website. I mean, I'm actually working on it right now, but if you're starting out, I don't think you really need a website to start off with. I think you need is a good set of 5, 6 pieces of work that shows who you are and what you can do and what kind of process you bring to the table, so that the client, whoever is actually browsing from your website and from your work, can actually hire you and say, yes, this person is really good at work, and you can start your work from that. And I think, yeah, that is the most important thing, starting off with few good pieces of work. Illustration purposes, if you guys want to start with, I want to start with illustrations, I don't know where to start. I think the perfect way to start is with pen and a paper. I know it's like very old school, but a lot of people actually go and buy their, first Wacom, like Wacom Companion or Wacom Cintiq, or they'll go and buy their most expensive tools to guide them through illustration. But I think to just understand you and understand yourself, I think it would be just get a paper and a pencil and start sketching. There are amazing resources online that can help you with your growth in illustration, with your growth in art in general, and understanding your own self and how you draw, and your process is much more important than the tools that you buy. So start with a basic sketchbook and pencil, and I think that's really good for any beginners. I still draw my first initial sketches on my sketchbook, and then I shifted to Illustrator. Yeah, I think paper and pencil is something that you guys should start on if you are just beginners in illustration.
Thank you so much, Maitreyee, for those great tips and insights. So, on a concluding part, I would like to ask, what are the 3 books that you want to suggest to our audience out there?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, first of all, I need to tell you something. I'm not much of a reader per se, but there are obviously like few books that I'm obsessed about, and they are really great, and they help any creative person, not just illustrators or designers, but any creative mind who just wants to get something amazing into their minds and start experiencing a different world. So there's this book that it was actually gifted to me by my grandfather, and it's called The Animation Art by Jerry Beck, all about history of animations and cartoons from design, like from Disney to Pixar, and the journey of the behind the scenes and how they came up with it. It's an amazing book. If you are an creative person and you love to actually explore different areas and fields, it's such an amazing book to see the process behind all these amazing artwork, creative pieces that you see on your TV. Second book that I would love to tell you guys is a recent book that a friend actually gifted me, was A Secret Lives of Colors. And it's really great. It's like, if you are starting to understand color theory and color psychology, The Secret Lives of Colors will really, really, really help you out. It's all about single color and where it came from and where it was used in ancient history, and now where it is used in everything, and the story behind every color. And the whole book is all about colors, and each page is about one color. So it is really amazing. You guys should definitely check it out. And the third book actually is A Smile in the Mind. It's an amazing, amazing book for all designers, especially actually graphic designers. It shows like the concepts and processes from like amazing posters that we see online, amazing designers and amazing companies from Apple to IBM and all that great companies. So I think A Smile in the Mind is something of a book to look into. It's more of a visual book than reading. So if you are like me and you don't like reading, so A Smile in the Mind is a great book to start off with.
Thank you so much, Maitreyee, for your time, and we are looking forward to host you again.
Thank you so much. It was really great to talk with you.